So, in the beginning of your piece, you start out talking about how Michael Novak led a sort of 20th century life. And I was thinking about it as I was reading this, and I'm like, the youngest listeners to this podcast never lived in the 20th century. And so it might be a good place to start to just talk about sort of the America that Michael Novak was born into and the American church at that time and what that environment was like to sort of orient our conversation.
So Michael Novak was born in the early 1930s. So he was born in the middle of the Great Depression, which I think is an experience that very few people alive today can actually remember. And that he was also brought up in an immigrant family. By that I mean his parents were first generation immigrants, children of immigrants from Slovakia. And so he grew up in a community which was quite different from what you might call white Anglo-Saxon Protestant America. He's growing up in a society in which Catholicism is as much about ethnic identity and in some cases political identity as well as it is a faith, a religion. And Catholicism was integral to everything that his family did. We're talking about a church that it's growing in America, but it's clearly not fully part of America because America was still at the time a heavily Anglo-Saxon Protestant world, understood itself that way, but Catholicism was as much a question of ethnic identity as it was about religious beliefs. And in fact, a lot of Catholics at that time, especially someone like Michael Novak, he's not even coming from the dominant group within American Catholicism. Yeah. But Catholicism, there were lots of Catholics in America at this time, but they weren't, I think it's fair to say, fully yet integrated into what people understood what it meant to be American.